Hiranmay, the teachers, the faculty members, and dear students. Let me welcome you to the new semester. GTU has been attempting during the last year to ensure that our academic program becomes more intensive and we are able to turn out engineers who are in demand. One part of this particular job you have done, and that is going on Shodh Yatras to industries to identify a problem which we have called as industry-defined problem. The idea was that when you do a final year project, it should be relevant. It should be anchored in the needs of our society. Hence, you were asked to go to the industries and look for a problem which can improve either a product or a process. Those of you who have been able to do so would have found that this particular kind of exercise lets you learn a great deal about the industry, about how it works. There are some others who must have used what we call as a user-defined problem. That is a problem which is developed by you in conjunction with your teachers, under their guidance, and you may be working on that particular problem also as a final year project. So some of the students are working on IDPs, others are working on UDPs. During the last semester exam, you must have presented the IDP or the UDP work that you have done during the semester, and the examiners may have commented on what you have done. Particularly for IDPs, if one of the examiners was the industry mentors, his comments might be quite valuable. So I would suggest that you should take those comments into account while working on the project during this semester. This final semester is very important for you because during this semester you must make the project as well as possible. Please understand that the project and its documentation is a very important part of the work that you will do. You will not only use this project documentation as an important item for all your interviews for the next couple of years. You may also be able to probably develop this into a useful product and you may become an entrepreneur. Alternatively, if this product has been developed jointly with an industry, then the industry may be able to work jointly with you to protect its IPR. Indian industry is not used to using IPR to develop its capability and to improve its balance sheet. But small companies in the technology belt in US, they go on developing new technologies and they go on selling them at huge profits to larger companies. You must have heard of many cases. An Indian's Hotmail, Samir Bhatia's, is a very well-known case. So, therefore, these are the kind of things which small industries do because small industries are more agile, they are closer to the ground, and they are able to think about new problems and solve them. Whereas larger industries, you see, are more inclined to marketing, to packaging, and therefore many times these smaller problems, they escape their notice. Hence, it is found all over the world that every year hundreds of small companies make millions of dollars each by selling their IPR. But for that, they have to protect their IPR. So if a new product or a new process or an improved product or an improved process has been developed by the industry jointly with you, you should ask them that this particular product or a process may be protected in their interest. The university will work with them to see that if required we can help them in getting the patents. So the patents will help you, they will help the industry, and the university's task is to ethically look at the whole thing and to see that all those who have contributed to it get their due credit. A project is also something which may link you to your junior students. So therefore, what we want is that in February, you should hold a full day seminar. In that seminar, you should make a presentation about the project that you are doing. And this presentation should be made to all the final year and pre-final year students in your college. Also, please invite all the mentors from the industry who are associated with it, so that if they are able to come, they will add value to the meeting. Now, the idea is that all the third year students should also know the good work that you are doing. It is also possible that some of the projects may require a little longer time. You might have been able to reach up to a particular point, and the next group of students may take up from there, and in the famous COCO model, they may then try to develop it further into a more useful product. So when you talk to your colleagues in that way, the advantage will be that the pre-final year students will know how the work is done, where you have been successful, or for that matter, where you have been unsuccessful, so that they will not pursue those particular areas. We are also now going to develop 44 sectoral innovation councils at GTU. Let me give you an example. The other day, we were sitting with professors for developing sectoral innovation council in automobile engineering. All the students who are doing projects in automobile engineering, they will be members of the sectoral innovation council. This council will have a Google group. On this Google group will be all the students. You will also have teachers, professors from all the colleges, and we will have some industry members. The Director General of CSIR, Dr. Samir Brahmachari, has assured me that he will put at least one scientist or engineer from the 39 CSIR labs on each of the sectoral councils. We will try to get the best of people who agree to donate some time to our projects. Now the advantage will be that, let's say you are working on a project and you face some difficulty. You can write on the Google group site that you have this particular problem. This problem may be solved by some friend of yours, some student only at some other college or in your college, or it may be solved by hints from some professor in any college in Gujarat. Alternatively, some industry mentor or some scientist or engineer from CSIR may be able to help you. So the idea is we should utilize all the resources of the society to ensure that if you have a problem, it may be solved. Somebody should give you the hint, somebody should give you the help, so that you are able to solve the problem. Of course, it is your job to solve the problem, but we are only trying to facilitate the work in such a way that you are able to get all the help. Please understand that while you are strengthening your technological knowledge through this particular project and also through other subjects, it is very important that your soft skills are of a very high order. There are two issues involved in soft skills. One is, of course, your capability to communicate well. That of course you have to learn. Please do not bother at this stage about grammatically correct English, desirable though it is. The important thing today for you is to be able to communicate well and with confidence. Let me tell you, I have lived in the Western world, in the English speaking world, that most of these people whose mother tongue is English do not speak grammatically correct English. When they speak, you will always find that they are grammatically wrong here or there. But they speak with confidence because it is their mother tongue. You can also learn to speak with confidence without bothering about whether the language is grammatically correct or not. As I said, it is good if it is grammatically correct. But then if it is not, don't bother. Don't stop while speaking while bothering about the grammar. Speak with confidence. The objective of speech is to communicate. If you are able to communicate well, whatever may be the correctness or incorrectness of the language doesn't matter. Because the objective of speaking is to see that the other fellow understands you and understands you well. So that is something that you must understand. The second important thing is that you must have appropriate material when you go into the interviews. Many of you may already have got some good placements. But for any placement, when you go into the interview, you should have good skills for group discussion. You should be able to appear in the interview properly. You should have a very good resume and other material. Now, what is this other material that you can carry into the interview? You can carry, for example, the project report of the final year project that you are making. You can also carry the reports of any other projects that you may have done during the 4 years of your work. If you have a blog, then carry some information about the blog that you have been writing. If you have participated in some conferences, tell about that. If you have written some papers and presented them in any conference, please ensure that these are also presented at the conference and they are reflected in your resume. So there are umpteen number of things which may be to your credit and which you should not forget to present when you go for an interview. These are the kind of things which you should know. And another very, very important thing is having the right attitude. When you go to any company, the important thing for you to understand is that you should have the right attitude. They try to understand whether you have the team spirit, whether you are going to contribute to the development of the company, or you are always going to think about only yourself. So these are very important issues, and if the interviewer senses that your attitudes are not correct, even if you are good technologically, he may not select you. That is why we have introduced a very important and a compulsory subject on contributors, how you can be a contributor. It also contains 3 chapters on how to write your resume, how to appear in an interview, and how to take part in a group discussion. So this particular subject has been made compulsory for the simple reason that we want that every young man who graduates from GTU should be picked up by the industry at excellent salaries. Alternatively, it is not that this subject will not be useful to you if you were to decide to either go for higher studies or to go for your own business. You will find that this particular subject also changes your attitudes and makes them better so that you are able to do these things well. The other thing that I would like to say is at the end that we must try to see that our every class and every laboratory and every workshop is taken religiously. Please try to see that your calendar is followed, and please try to preach to the younger students that GTU is now wanting to become a great university. And in a great university, the students and the faculty members, they all follow the calendar which is declared. In good universities, the calendar is not something which is not to be followed. It is to be religiously followed. Of course, in bad universities it is not. We want to make GTU a great university. Only when GTU is great that the industry will appreciate your parchment, the degree that we gave. Then you will be able to get high salaries. And if GTU remains a useless university in public mind, obviously the first disadvantage will be to you. Therefore, let's all work to make GTU a great university. Let me wish you the best in working on the project, in your examinations at the end of this semester, and in placements. Thank you.